Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to the Heaps Good podcast. It sounds so formal. This is take 2 of our intro because on the one day that we finally decide to start doing a podcast again, our next door neighbours want to blow leaves and clean their entire backyard. So we're sitting in this beautiful part of the country of the Gold Coast, sitting out here. We have this amazing spot, but it's a little bit noisy. We never know how it's going to go down. So if you do hear any little bit of background noise, we are going to try and edit it out as best as we can, but there might be a little bit of interference. But we're here. We're stoked to be here. It's been a little minute. I think our last podcast was sort of like somewhere towards the mid-end part of last year.
Yep.
But we had a lot on and we've got a lot to update on and a lot of really exciting things coming ahead. So yeah, for this episode, we're going to kind of give you a little bit of a catch up on where we're at, some lessons we've learned, some things we're going into, and then get into a little bit of a flow with these podcasts again.
Yes, we are. So let's start off with the family stuff. So
Yeah.
we've got Scotty's now in grade 1, which
Yep.
is awesome, and Tech started his first day of daycare.
Yep, he's in a little family daycare just down the road. So it's him and 3 other little boys his age that we waited a really long time to get him in. He's been home full time and he's just going to do a little short day. So kind of like a school day once a week. And that's going to allow us to do this podcast and to do a bunch of work. We'll cram in most of a week's worth of work into that one day that we've got a little bit of support. He's at a really good age now. He just weaned himself a couple of weeks ago. So it's kind of just been like really perfect timing, to be honest. He's just so ready.
Yeah, and we kind of just set the goal as soon as he started that, we would, get the next part of our whole business cycle up and running. So it's been super busy getting everything done in the background, getting ready for that. So
yeah, a lot of refining. So if you've been around for a while, we launched Heaps Good Nutrition in November at the end of 2024.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's been like just over a year, like a year and a bit.
Yeah.
Year and a few months. And we spent most of that first year just really getting into the business and kind of learning all of the things, working with clients, what do clients need, spending a lot of time just kind of like getting used to it, because I think we've said this before, like it's one thing to have all of the knowledge and it's a whole nother thing to put it into practice.
100%.
So we have had an amazing range of clients from all different walks of life, people, with hormonal issues, people trying to improve their performance, in the gym, people trying to lose weight, like so many different people, men, women.
Fireys, we've had people trying out for special forces in the military, training for that, getting themselves ready for that. We've had
a lot of women with PCOS.
Yeah, and then obviously we've had people on GLP-1s and understanding and working with people through that so they can support themselves once they come off it as well. So
yeah, it's been really, really great. And obviously, like we had to just, like if you've had children, you're kind of given this baby and you sort of know, like, all the ins and outs of what you're supposed to do and how to feed them and all of those kind of things. But then you get to know your very own unique individual child, and that you can only do that with time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what it's felt like in the business for us, is it was just getting to know it and also how we wanted to shape it along the way, make some mistakes. We just spent a lot of time really in it, which didn't give us a huge opportunity to grow it or refine it as such.
yeah.
But this is something that we do really well, and this is something that we preach a lot to our clients, right? And it's just really allowing things to take the time. I liken it even to, one of the biggest mistakes we made when we moved into a house that we needed to renovate is we started renovating it straight away and we needed to live in it first. And we made mistakes because we didn't get to know it and didn't live in it first. And we kind of jumped the gun on what we think we should do. And so it's just, everything's kind of just been a really great lesson, just circling us back to that message, is just to really live it and how that works for us, and then just refine it as you go. And so as we came into this year, off the back of a massive year of our daughter starting school for the first time, me retiring and being entirely lost, which I'll get into a little bit shortly, just feeling like so lost and trying to navigate who I am and where I fit into this world and into this business and everything. And then everything else along the way with, a young child, under 2 for a lot of that, who didn't sleep and all of those kind of things. And then we kind of finally got to a stage we had a bit of a real turning point coming into this year. We took it really easy at the start of the year and just really let ourselves settle in, and then just gradually build back up and go, all right, now is the time to really just refine what we want this to look like and how we want to help people. And more importantly than anything, what we are and what we're not willing to do with the business and with our service, so that we can always prioritize our family and our health first.
100%. And I think the biggest thing, like, obviously we've had a couple of businesses and stuff now and, you know, done a lot. And this is the same for nutrition or anything that you're doing in life too, is it's so easy to try to hit perfection before starting something. And the biggest thing you can do is, like, obviously, like we were saying, like being there, being present what you're doing, living in what you're doing, but just starting and understanding that it doesn't have to be the perfect circumstances before you do it. And that's what we did when we launched this business. It wasn't the perfect time. We still had stuff going crazy at the time, but it also it allowed us to make sure that when we did launch the business, that we were doing it in not the best circumstances, so we could figure those things out along the way. And it's really helped us get to, I think, the point where we are now, where we, you know, we're able to spend a little bit more time building out that other stuff and getting ready to launch more things.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned, it's been the biggest light bulb moment for me, is that I'm a huge advocate, and this is going to sound crazy, for doing things the hard way first. I honestly do really think that you just...
Yeah, she does everything the hard way, like fucking everything.
You know why, though? It's like, I mean, I'm just born that way,
yeah,
but
that's
also...
you. That's just you.
You just accelerate the process. Like, if you just kind of throw yourself in the deep end... And look, there's a whole nother part to that, is that you have to set the expectations very low. So, like, you can only do it the hard way if you're willing to cop the shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're willing to let it be shit and figure it out along the way. It's like an apprenticeship, not a degree. You know, you're out there on the job learning on the job.
Tools, 100%.
You're on the tools straight away.
Yep.
You're not just learning the textbook for 4 years and then going out into the field. And I'm just much more wired for that, that trade life, right?
And it's been hard for you because you are such a perfectionist in everything that you do. And then, you know, knowing that things aren't perfect by the time stuff comes out the first time, and there's got to be a little bit of refinement in there going. And like, it's that whole thing that I remember you saying, it's like, if you wait till it's perfect, you're probably too late to start.
Yeah, exactly right. And one of the things I think about is, like, say when we first launched the business, and we have always put 100% into the service. So how we communicate with people, like, our clients are our number one,
100%.
always. But because we launched straight away, we were spending so much of our energy. We were really, really exhausted. We depleted ourselves.
Real cooked.
Because we had to work extra hours to deliver that service. We had to work late nights. We were having to do so many things and really put a lot of other things to the side while we figured it out. And then as time has gone on, then we were able to set a few more boundaries, relax a little bit more, because now we've gotten better at it. So everything is like easier. Yep. We can still offer the same quality of the service in our business. In fact, we get better and better, but it's easier and easier because we did do it the hard way. And it sort of feels like, at the time, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I can't, you know, I said to you, I was like, I can't keep working at nighttime. And then at one point I was like, that's just the only option right now, because I'm with my kids in the day. I don't want to be working and kind of leaving them and being on my computer all day or whatever. And so this is just what it has to be. And I was studying some extra qualifications at the time, and so I just accepted it with a deadline. Like, it's only for a period of time with an end goal.
Yeah. And
it's so funny because these lessons, these messages, they just copy and paste into every other aspect of life. And that's one thing I really fucking love about coaching, is like every life lesson, because like I love learning. Like, I love making mistakes and learning from it. It's my favorite. I love that evolution, but like, you then copy and paste it and you're like, it's the exact same thing in nutrition.
Yeah.
It's like,
100%.
Guess what? You're going to show up and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to be like, I don't want to fucking meal prep, or I don't want to track my food, or it's all too hard and it's all shit, and Kara's a bitch because I had to do this, she told me to do this, or whatever. And it's so shit. And then just all of a sudden you're like, oh, actually, I can relax way more and still do a better job because I've just gotten used to it. I mean, it's just time.
It's literally just time,
It's
man.
time and it's practice.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, like I said to you, I've been like practicing meditating a lot more. And a lot of people will say meditating is so hard. You know, they're like, I can't do it. I'm too wriggly. I can't focus, you know. And it is a practice. That's the word. It's to do it over and over and over again and practice it the way that a kid would go to tennis practice or football practice.
Yeah.
It's not like you do one class and then you're a professional. Like, you have to practice it consistently over and over and over again, and then you get better at it, and then you kind of get to pick and choose your hours and you get to navigate, and it's like a lot better. So it's been really, really good in that sense. Totally fucked in it, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of like really fucked hard bits in it, but if there's anything I've learned is that, you know, that's what I learned from training, is
The
that
best growth comes from the hard.
like, you do a workout and the whole thing hurts. It never not hurts in it. And then you're finished and you're all sweaty and you're like, fuck yeah, so good. I feel really good. Like,
only
you're
way is through.
you're on top of the world. You've got the endorphins, but no one gets that in it. It doesn't happen in the exercise.
No.
And then later on, you're like, oh, now I look pretty good. I'm looking a bit jacked and a bit leaner and feeling really good about myself. And that's all after the hard bit. So we do hard things, man. We just do hard things and we keep showing up, and then we get to move on to the next bit, which
100%.
is kind of like where we're at now.
Yeah. And we've done a lot in that period too. And then, you know, in the next couple of months, we've got, you know, before that, you know, and in that time, we've also put on some more coaches too. So
yeah, we've put on new coaches.
We've got Sammy and Lauren. So we have a coach in the US, a coach in the UK, and
another Aussie.
Another Aussie. So we've got 3 coaches in Australia, which is...
They tend to be our main like continents, our main areas. I think all of our clients are usually either Australian, American,
or UK, Europe.
Or somewhere through Europe.
Yeah.
But mostly UK. I'd say we've got quite a few in the UK.
No,
You've had a couple like through different areas of Europe.
I've got 2 in Finland, or I've had 2 in Finland and stuff too. So I think
it's really good. It just it doesn't change anything, because we do one live like one-on-one call at the start. So you do like a 30-minute call. That's usually always a bit longer, and just get on the same page and get some tone and talk to a real person and fill it out. You do that and stuff. So once you navigate that for the time zone, then everything else is kind of in your own time through the app and everything. So it doesn't matter, but it is nice just having, like, I've found it's really good having people in different areas, because we all have like really different perspectives and different like meal practices, and like I've learned, you know, just from people in different areas. And we also get, because we're in communication with each other, it's really cool, because it can be like, if I get a client in the US, I can talk to Rach and be like, hey, you know, do the groundwork for me over there. Like, what are these cool brands, you know, for this kind of product? Do you know 100%. This and that? And we can bounce back and forth, and we just get so much, we get so much extra from each other, which is really, really cool. Like, so beneficial, because you kind of feel like you're getting 4 coaches in one.
That's right. And it is so hard. Like, you can research and go online and look for products, or, you know, foods and things like that. But you need somebody kind of who is in that country, who you can rely upon, who, you know, they know what's good there, to go and speak to and go, hey, if they go to Trader Joe's in America, like, what's some good options they can get for organic beef or something like that? Or what protein powders are really good quality that you can get over there that's really easy? And it's obviously, we can research it and find it, but they know like what's there and what they take and what works for them. So having coaches in those countries that have that ability just to kind of bounce ideas off and help each other out, it's just so invaluable.
Well, and also because it's not just research anymore, it's lived in experience, you know.
Exactly,
like if we're talking to Lauren in the UK, she's like, these are all the ones I've tried. These are the shit ones. Like this, I've lived it. I've been there. I've been to that shop. So it's all well and good to kind of research, but like that's the benefit of having people who practice what they preach, is that you can be like, you know, Rach can reach out to me and I can be like, yep, these are really good like supplement brands or whatever here in Oz. These ones are a bit iffy, you know, a bit dodgy, not as good, whatever. Because I've tried them all, I've done it, I've spent the money and I've trialed it, and I feel comfortable recommending it. Yeah,
that's right. And even just like, you know, the personal social side of things is like, and what's, you know, more in abundance there. So if you go to, say, someone in the UAE and you tell them to have a ham sandwich, they probably can't get any ham because, you know, most people don't eat it over there. So just having that ability to ask them, you know, like
the awareness,
what's there, what have you got lots of, what's, you know, seasonal at the moment there, like those type of things that you don't necessarily have to go and research yourself. And they can just definitely like clarify all those things for you too. So
Yeah.
it's been really great having like a conglomerate of coaches throughout the world.
Yeah, and it's hard because I'm like so picky.
Yeah.
I'm so picky with who I bring on. Like I kind of want to feel like, and rightfully so. Not that I'm like the best or anything like that, but you know, like how we run our business, like it is an extension of us, and it's our ethos, and we have a particular way, you know, that Heaps Good Nutrition does it, and we have our really, really important values to us, and every business will have that in themselves.
Yep.
So trying to kind of copy and paste yourself in like a different version everywhere, like make sure that you find people that are just like so naturally on board with how you do things is
100%.
is really hard. And we've had a lot of people inquire, and you know, I'm never going to get around to all of it, but it's been really, really good, and it makes a really big difference because just you kind of have just an extension of yourself. Like anyone in a business will say, oh, I just wish I could copy and paste myself, you know, to take care of, you know, these things. So if you find really good people, you just got to kind of hold on to them. And I feel, really good with 100%. Who we have.
And like you said too, like one of our biggest ethos is, you know, we trust that those, whoever are our clients, that they can do it themselves, and they can be better, and they, you know, they can eat really good healthy foods all the time, as opposed to, you know, a lot of the places out there who don't necessarily trust that you can do it, so they're trying to find cheats for you. So we need to find coaches who
believe in what we believe in,
and support that people can make the change for themselves, for the better, and for the rest of their life. So and that's it's really not that easy, because 99% of coaches out there will tell you just, you know, eat what you want, as long as you're eating within a calorie deficit, and you're all good. So
because let's put it this way, right? A lot of people anyone can go into any job. You can go do whatever job you want. It doesn't mean that you're passionate about that job. It could just be really convenient. A lot of people just go, oh, I'm going to become a, you know, nutritionist, dietitian, nutrition coach or whatever, just because I can do it from home, and it's really, you know, they think it's just going to be easy and they've got free time or whatever, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they're passionate in living the life. And so in a lot of instances, these like certain nutrition coaches, or even highly qualified sort of nutritionists and dietitians, they have done the book work, but they haven't really figured it out for themselves yet. They don't really believe in it. And I think I see people all the time who are like promoting all these, they're like, yeah, you know, you can eat McDonald's and you can do this and that and still be shredded. I'm like, well, yeah, like, of course, like it's fine. But also like you can also live a really, really good life eating good food and just like not relying on those foods. And if you have it, it's not a deal, whatever.
Yeah.
But they kind of promote it because I just don't think they've sorted it out for themselves.
No.
They don't know how to do it yet. So all they do is they go, well, they're like, if I can't do it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so how on earth are you going to help somebody if you don't think it exists? If you don't think it's possible to live a really good life with good whole foods and, you know, being accountable for your food and like everything that we sort of preach, if you haven't done it, you haven't proven that it exists yet. Whereas like we know it exists because we do it. Like we do it really fucking well. Like I really like how we do it. And we really enjoy life, and we eat beautiful food. Like we have treats, like we eat chocolate, we eat out, we do all the normal things. We exist in society like regular people and not like little gremlins that can't, you know, get into anything because we live such a weird life. Like we're not so out there.
Yeah, 100%.
But we make really good choices. We feel really good. Our kids are healthy. We're healthy. Like life is good. We're happy, content, confident, all those kind of things. So like we know it exists.
Yeah. And I think like personally, I just think those people who kind of do that, they've just got blinkers on. Like they're so short-sighted on their goal for their client. It's kind of like, so your goal's to perform for this competition. This is everything you need here. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. But what about when they're 65? Like, what are they going to need for that? Is it really that important to them, you know, to be so in because they can eat whatever they want as long as they get the calories in for this thing? Or should they be looking for the rest of their life and, you know, being better? And, you know, you see it. You can tell the athletes who are, you know, being taught to do that. Like backstage, like especially in the females, their faces are just covered in acne from eating that type of food. And that's your body telling you something, right? It's telling you that, hey, I'm having to push all this shit out that you're giving to me, and I'm going to push it out on your face. Like,
hormonal issues being presented through the skin, like all kinds of things, which I think people have made it like almost that's just normal. Like, oh, if you're an athlete, like for instance, oh, you just don't get a period and you're going to have bad skin and that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
like,
just how it is.
No, it's actually not.
It's
actually
not. It doesn't
not.
have to be.
It takes a little bit of work. It doesn't have to be. And obviously everyone's got their own predispositions.
That's
but you
the
can
easy way.
That's the easy way. But you have to learn to have show care to what your own individual needs are, which
Yeah.
is obviously what we present to people. And I think one of the things I always struggle with is, and I hate this, like, and I notice this a lot with builders, right? When you get builders come to your house and you want to get some work done, and you're like, I kind of know what I want to get done to the house, but I'm not a professional builder, so I don't really know my options. And so they'll just tell you, you go, oh, I just kind of want a new door, a little like a deck here, I want to do something here, and they go, yeah, cool, it'll be this deck with this is how much it will cost. Like, they'll give you one option. You didn't even know that anything else really existed unless you go and do all this research yourself, and then you give it to them, and then they can give you a quote.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a service industry, it's usually like that, right? That's the thing. Whereas no one gives you option B, or here's the potential. So I've got a client, for instance, I've worked with for ages. She's a legend. She was hardworking in like High Rocks. She was like, that was our goal pretty much all of last year. She had these really cool performance goals. And I lay it out to her like, okay, if you want to focus on this, like, this is what's not going to be able to be a focus, like, it's not like neglected, but if you want to go all in this is what it's going to look like. We come around to this year and we kind of go, hey, where are you at now? Like, how do you feel in yourself? What are your goals for the year? Like, okay, we're going to focus more on like the healthy version of you, not necessarily the performance version of you. We go, okay, look, let's still focus on the workouts, but this is what it will look like. And we'll always just be mindful of the fact that we've kind of shifted our focus over here, but we're always talking about those options. Where do you want to be? Where do you want that give and take? And then I will follow your lead based off what you want.
Yeah.
And if you're happy to go, yeah, I want to focus on the healthy me this year. I'm not so worried about the performance. I still want to train and do well, but I'm just more worried about, like, I want to lose a bit of weight, and I want to feel really good and have energy and do all that stuff is more important to me, and then do the other stuff on the side. Okay, cool. Let's roll with that. But, like, you're just not really given options.
No, 100%.
Like, we're never really presented with good options and, like, this is what this would look like, And I learned that from a physio that I had actually when I broke my back, and he said to me, like, here's your options. I'm going to be with you. I just remember it so clearly. He said, I'm going to be with you alongside the whole way. He goes, it's your choice. These are the risks. I was in a really risky position with a broken back, and he said to me, these are your risks. Here's what could happen in this scenario, and this scenario. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're good and we get the best outcome of whatever you've chosen. But I want to make sure that you understand the risks, you understand the rewards, you understand the work that's going to need to be taken, and then you make your decision.
Yeah, which is so good. And it's obviously how we like to do it with our clients, because you need to kind of be given the power yourself. And then our jobs, we're a guide, It's not to, no, you're wrong, you do it our way, or you just don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, you're the person living your life.
And you're a grown-ass adult.
And you're a grown-ass adult. We'll support you in what you want to do, and we'll give you, realistic expectations of what you can expect along the way by going down that goal. And they can go, cool, sweet. All right, I want to be the best I can at High Rocks. I'm like, all right, if you want to do that and you want to be the best you possibly can, you're going to have to sacrifice your weekends. You're not going to be able to eat out with your family. You're going to have to prioritize your food and your intake, especially in and around training. You're going to have to spend extra hours on recovery. Are you willing to do that? No. All right. So then your goal's not to be the best High Rocks you possibly can. Let's try and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, let's figure out where that lands for you.
Yeah. Where are you willing to give, and what are you willing to take to get to where you want to be?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's our job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've kind of been doing that, and that's been really awesome. And then now we're like, okay, this is our year of growth in the business. I think I said I'd kind of touch on it a little bit, and for me personally, I didn't kind of realize how rough last year actually was for me until I came out the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because I was just kind of like showing up, and obviously it was hard having a kid start school and you're trying to be there for them, and then starting a business at the same time. All that was a lot.
And then the downfall of, not the downfall, but like I guess the depression of not being an athlete anymore.
Yeah,
which is a real thing.
Yeah, it was like, I think it wasn't for me, I guess. Depression's not the great. It's not the right
word, but it's just kind of the word that came at mind. I guess
I think for me, I kept saying to Maddie, I just felt really lost, and I was like, I kept trying to force an answer of like, what do I do? Even just simple things like, what do I post on social media now? Like, what do I do? Like, I just didn't know who I was anymore, and I just didn't realize. I honestly didn't think that I had put that much weight on my athletic identity until it wasn't there, and it was really, really, really rough, and it just took time. every day I'd go, I just still feel lost. I still feel lost. I'm doing stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. And then it's really funny, and it'll sound like the corniest thing ever, but I actually had this realization last week, and I came to Maddie and I said, oh, you know, like when we were starting the new year and everyone was posting about year of the snake and year of the horse, and whether you like astrological stuff or not, like it was spoken about and everyone was somewhat aware of it, right? This is meant to be a momentum year and whatever. I take that all with a grain of salt. I enjoy reading it, but I take it with a grain of salt and then, you know, kind of focus on our own world. But what I realized is that I pretty much spent the whole year uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable, because I was essentially shedding a whole version of myself. And I just didn't realize that's what was happening.
Yeah.
I thought that I was just struggling to let go, which I was. It was like, I guess if a snake is shedding its skin, is like, it's uncomfortable, it takes time. Like, I think it kind of hurts them. I feel like I read that. But it's like, it felt like that in that I was just uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable for an entire year in something that I didn't fully realize was happening. And then I kind of all of a sudden had this moment where I decided to just kind of let go, like actually just let go. And I wasn't ready until I was ready. I couldn't force myself to let go. I was just ready at the time that it came. And I just surrendered to not worrying and just figuring out what this new version of me was, which is kind of an old version of me. It's still the same me, but just with like a whole different piece, kind of a whole piece not there anymore.
Yeah.
and not like, not as it was in the public eye, which is obviously like a really big factor when you've been in the public eye for a really long time, and I still am.
Yeah, that's right. And I said to you too, like, it's very similar to like when you leave the military or if someone retires from their work that they didn't want to leave. You do go through like a process of not understanding who you are anymore and understanding that you've got to go re-find yourself in anything you do. So it's like, it's not necessarily just towards an athlete, but it can be towards anybody who's going through a major shift in their life, depending what it is, especially if it's a huge one.
Yeah, I remember saying to you, I fully get it now, like obviously in a very different sense, but somewhat similar in principle. I really fully understood and resonated. Like I felt like I could feel what it would have felt like for you coming out of the army and then trying to find yourself, because it's very similar in that, you know, you were in a very specifically defined role.
Yeah.
And then you get sent, it's kind of like a whole different world. It's like a whole fake world.
It's gone.
And then it's gone, and then you're a civilian.
Yeah.
And you did all this really cool stuff and learned all this cool stuff. And I really understood and empathized with veterans on a whole different level, going like, yeah, because I was in that too. Like I had this whole different identity publicly as well. And you know, soldiers are much the same. You're very much perceived a certain way. You put that uniform on and, you know, people view you a certain way, and then all of a sudden you're out and no one knows. No one knows what you did. You're not in that uniform anymore. No one cares. Yep. And you're just out trying to figure out what to do now. Yep. What's the new you? And a lot of veterans don't ever find that. They cling on. And not even just that. Some people hang on to who they were in high school or whatever.
Yeah, it can be a lot of other things too, right?
Yeah, they live in that shedding phase, but they never get the fucking skin off. Yeah. Like they just never 100%. Ever get it off.
They're expecting something that's not going to happen. Like, and it's the same, I guess, like being an athlete and like somebody who's come out of the military as well. You're not going to you get nothing for it. When you leave and you go, you don't get like, Here are the 58 jobs that you're super like ready to go and do, and people are going to appreciate you in it and everything. You're like, bro, you're as good as a 17-year-old at Macca's flipping burgers. That's the qualifications that you have once you've left. Cool that you did all that stuff, but it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
And then you're restarting everything all over again and from the bottom. And that's, I think, the same as an athlete. Like you've lost what you were.
Well, I was like one of the greats, right? So you're at the top.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you're not even at the bottom. You're just not even there anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was... It didn't bother me in a conscious sense at all. It was just all of a sudden, like, I kind of just felt like I was out in a weird, like, town, you know? Like, I'm, like, out in a different country. I felt like I just got picked up and dropped in a different country. And then I was like, I don't know, like, what happens here?
Yeah.
You know, like, what do we eat? What do we do? Like, what's everyone do today? Because I was just so used to doing the same thing. And then yeah, you take something like social media and, you know, you're posting and sharing this journey, and all of a sudden that journey's not there anymore. And then you're like, why the fuck would anyone want to watch anything else? And then there's like this kind of self-worth crisis almost, like, oh, was I only worthy to anyone, you know, in that position? And then you go through this whole process of like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know,
No.
I had to go through this whole process of learning that my worth has nothing to do with anything other than I'm just born worthy, right? Like, and having to really look at my kids and go, they were born perfect and worthy of everything, you know, and they should have the world, and they don't need to work for it. They don't have to do anything for it. They deserve to be loved and to have a good life and all of that. They don't have to do anything or be a certain way. Everybody does.
Yeah,
and
every person deserves that.
every person deserves that. So it's been really hard. And then all of a sudden started this year. It was actually probably only a couple of weeks ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I
I'd
feel
say
like it
2
got
to
a
3
little
weeks.
bit, it got a little bit easier. I kind of hit a point. I got low iron. I had some hormonal stuff that I'd never had before. I started managing that, weaned my son, got a little bit of my body back and a little bit of vitality back because I wasn't giving so much to him every day.
Yeah.
And then it slowly just started to fall into place. And I just kind of hit that point where I'm like, all right, let's do this. And like all of a sudden I feel like for the first time in my adult life, like honestly, I'm like accepting that me, and in this case me and you, have a lot to offer, and that we're so genuine and we try so hard and we genuinely really care about people, and that we deserve a seat at the table. Whereas I guess I've always kind of been like, no, Cara, that's stupid, you know, like even though deep down I know it's good, but I would let myself sort of be influenced by how the world perceives people doing it totally different to me.
Yep.
And, you know, like people will tell you, let's use Instagram as an example, social media, tell you this is the algorithm and you've got to put hooks on your reels and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And you're trying to play this, you're trying to be in this race. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know how to do this Instagram thing for my business. You know, I just want to coach people, man. Like I just want to I just want to do this really cool thing that I believe in. And then I've got to, you know, any business owner will tell you all of a sudden you've got to become like a social media guru.
Yeah.
And I'm reading these things, how to do it. And I turned to Maddie and I said one day, like, you know what I realized? I'm like, all these people with their algorithms and all that, I'm like, that's sheep. I'm like, I've never been a fucking sheep in my life. I'm like, I'm the black sheep or the wolf or whatever you want to call it. I'm like, I am not a sheep. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to say and do whatever feels right and genuine straight from me.
Yep.
And it was so refreshing because it's like, it doesn't cost me so much energy to try and think about, I was always afraid, am I going to say something and offend someone? And when I don't mean to offend them, but I've only got like 30 seconds in this video to say it or whatever. And now I'm like, look, people are going to do what they're going to do and they need to be responsible for that. I fucking know our intentions. I know what we're here for. I know what our goal is. I know what we want to achieve in this world. And I know that we're good and we deserve a seat at the table, and it would be criminal to keep us in the shadows. So I'm just fucking going to go full send and not worry
100%.
and not worry about judgment. And then that's what we started doing, and everything's kind of started to fall into place. And I share this totally not from like any kind of like cocky or we know anything. It was like, we've lived the hard stuff and we've lived the self-doubt, so much self-doubt. And
that's right. Like we always say too, like it's funny, but everyone deserves a seat at the table. Anyone on social media is telling you something that's probably bullshit. And that person who you're listening to thinking that they've got everything sorted, you know, they probably don't. So you would have just as much or more to offer any other person out there than what the next person does.
Well, yeah, I know that I'm trying, right? Like I know that I'm actually trying to do something. Like sure, I'm trying to run a business and I'm trying to earn money and I'm trying to set my kids up so that they're okay.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it in a right way with something that I believe in. Like
100%.
that's just who I am.
Yeah,
And I just got to trust. I just have to trust and remember that. But
I wasn't
either way,
talking about you specifically, just like everyone in general.
No, I know. I'm just saying. But yeah, like I think, and I share this too because everything we do and everything we talk about is always, like I said, I've said many times before, is like we're storytellers.
Yeah.
And we are people who like to get in the trenches and do the hard things and learn from it. And so it's it sort of feels like my God-given gift is to go through the shit and then to share it so other people don't have to, just to give them a bit of a leg up, because I know that like obviously every human being has their own strength, right? Like whether anyone thinks they have a strength or not, everybody does have their own very unique strength. And I guess that's one of ours, is that we're like super resilient, and then we can cop the shit, and
Yeah.
then we can kind of refine it, interpret it, and then make it. Is that a bee?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
gosh.
so.
We can make it like a little bit nicer or pass it on
Yeah.
and make it a little bit easier maybe for people who like haven't had the opportunity or the resources or the support to be in the position to be as resilient through that shit.
Yeah. Plus,
So
we've got a lot of experience between our 74 or 3 years, but together,
Yeah.
we've done a lot. So
yeah, we've done a bit.
we've
So
done a bit, so that helps too.
so yeah, now in the business we kind of like moving forward, and we've got some really exciting things coming through. I'm trying to learn to be a little entrepreneur and trying to refine things and
Crushing it.
yeah, posting the socials and making my emails better, and you know, just I love being home brand. I do, and I will never lose that. That is my favorite part of myself, is being home brand. So I still always want to keep that within our business, but I also want it to like feel professional, and I always want people to feel like they're kind of, you know, cared for and that it's done the right way. Yeah, I want to set the standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be the person to set the standard. You don't
Yeah.
want to just be doing the bare minimum.
100%.
And then yeah, so then we've got like we have something like pretty cool and exciting. Do you want to say
Yes,
it?
sure. We are probably, since you retired, I would say you've been struggling to find your feet with training. So we've been kind of navigating that and, you know, finding a new way to do it where you can incorporate it into your life and feel like you want to show up every day. And this is both of us. This isn't just you. And then wanting to train, wanting to follow something and get it going. So we decided to, as opposed to anything else, we just start our own that fits exactly like the type of people that we are, which isn't athletes anymore. It's we want to look good, we want to feel good, we want to be healthy, we want to enjoy our training, and we want to be able to do it with our kids. With our kids, there, you know, making it 10 times harder.
And still not like too soft. Like we still kind of want to work. Like
We wanna
still
work,
wanna,
man.
We want to
Yeah.
work, but we want it to sort of, we want to be able to free flow it a little bit. So like it all came about, obviously I was doing mayhem programming when I was with, when I was like competing, love it. And it was really great. There were a lot of options, a lot of tracks, and I loved that, and a lot of really fun workouts. And then I just found that in my life, I started to get a little bit overwhelmed by the options, and I couldn't follow anything. And I had just this real specific way. Obviously everyone has their very own way that they like to train. And when we share our programming, there'll be heaps of people that are like, well, not heaps of people, hopefully, but like there'll be people who'll be like,
No one. Everybody will want to do our program.
There'll be some people who'll be like, oh yeah, it's not my vibe, and that's totally fine. Like
No, they
there's,
won't.
they won't. It's pretty great. But
Yeah.
like, so then we kind of started, and we were trying to train separately because we were trying to find an easier way with the kids, right, and to still get stuff done. So we were like, let's try and divide and conquer like most people do, because we do everything together, and it always makes it harder. It's like more fun, but it's harder because if we divide and conquer, obviously like he could get one job done, I could get another job done, we could swap, and we're getting two things done at the same time. But instead we're only ever getting one thing done at a time because we do it together. But then we were like, no, fuck this. This is the thing that we love and we want to do it together, so we'll do
Yeah.
it hard.
Plus, it's like one of the only things that we kind of get to do
Yeah, we
for
don't
us together.
Yeah, we don't have family. We've got pretty much like one good close friend that we trust to have our kids, and we don't want to lump our children on her all the time, even though she loves it. But like, so we don't have like this big romantic social life, you know, where like we're going out doing stuff all the time because we are in a season and we have chosen to dedicate the season to our kids. And so, you know, our husband and wife time is like little moments. We have to cherish like little tiny things, cups of tea and chocky at the end of the day, like, you know, spicy time when you don't really want the spicy time, whenever it just works. Like you
Yeah.
kind of just, you have to try and find the little moments that you can romanticize and be really creative, rather than having like big cool date nights or whatever. That's just not a thing for us. So like training is something that we both love. And so it's kind of like a little date for us, and we're hanging out. Super frustrating with the kids. They're always in the way. We stop a lot. It's like, it's a thing. Like, it's not easy, but it gets easier. We know that with Scotty, as it definitely got easier. The more she just kind of got used to that, that's what we do. They start to know where they can't be. You know, if there's a heavy
Yeah.
barbell on the back, don't be near us. If someone's on the air runner, we don't put our hands near it because your fingers are going to get stuck, et cetera, et cetera. They pick up on that.
Yeah.
So we started training together, and we were like, this is so much more fun, but we wanted to find something that hit a couple of criteria. So the criteria for us were, one, we could do it together and still navigate the kids.
Yeah.
Two, it wasn't going to go longer than an hour because we have other things to do. We're
Yeah,
running a
we don't
business.
have the
Maddie's got
time.
a full-time job as well. I have a full-time job with the kids, a home, you know, all of the things. dogs to feed, foster puppies, all the shit. So we wanted it to be in under an hour. We still wanted progressive loading. Like we still wanted to make progress.
Yep.
Because obviously even aesthetically, even if you're not trying to be a professional athlete, if you have specific aesthetic goals, you still need to have progression. So you still need to be hitting certain loads and certain rep schemes and things like that so that you can move forward. Whether it's your toning thing or muscle building or whatever it is. So obviously we wanted to still have progression. We wanted to, if we missed a day, not feel like we were constantly like missing out on the same thing. So we've had to create a little bit of balance with that. And then one of the other random criteria for me is like, as a woman, was really figuring out the balance between lifting and cardio and what kind of cardio. Because as I get a little bit older, I'm 37 at the end of this year, and I am very well aware that with my life load, that if I do too many crazy high intensity workouts or just like flog myself with cardio, my body perceives that as stress and it starts to respond like it's dealing with stress. And I obviously want to also preserve my muscle and bone mass for as I'm getting older. So I want to have that resistance piece there, but I also still really love the cardio. Like everyone loves a 30, 40-minute sweat. Like
100%.
every single human being, and we've owned a gym and we know everyone wanted to do those cardio pieces.
Yep.
And so we have the couple of times a week that we do that. And then we have the lifting in there. And I feel like I've found a really good balance. Like you're pretty resilient and can kind of do whatever. And, we keep it low skill, so easy entry. No wild snatches or muscle ups or anything like that.
Plus with the kids, you don't want to be putting a barbell overhead that you have to drop. So
we don't want to put ourselves in that position where you're just sort of stressing about your environment too much. So there's that piece. And then there was something else I was going to say that was like our criteria.
Gymnastics.
Yeah, no gymnastics. Obviously it's not no gymnastics. We do pull-ups and dips and
no high skill gymnastics.
No high, just not high skill pieces.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say something about the workouts. I lost it when you said that.
Oh, sorry. We've also got 3 days a week usually that are dedicated to strength and lifting.
Yeah, and then we do the accessories. So like we work on the core, glutes, other like little accessories to obviously complement the lifts without anything too crazy. Yeah. Oh, this was the big one. This was the number one thing for me is I wanted to not have an excuse to not train. So by hitting all of these criteria and having it be just the right amount of work, not too little, not too much. If it's too little, like if it's not enough work, sometimes you just can't justify it. You're like, oh, fuck, what's the point? If I miss it, it's not a big deal because it's only a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go, oh, the day's been big, whatever. I'm not even going to miss that session. Or if it's too big, you're like, fuck, I can't even build up the courage to put my shoes on to even think about doing that.
Yeah.
And so I needed to find that sweet spot that essentially took away every single excuse in the day. And there's some genuine days, like today we've kind of put the feelers out there that we're like, it might not happen today. We haven't had a day without our son in a long time, and we're podcasting. I think we've got back-to-back phone calls like around this. I'll probably have to pick him up early. He's just doing a little half day and things like that. So there's some genuine days where we're like, today's not the day, and that's fine. But I don't think there's really been a day that I've ever felt like I kind of am looking for an excuse not to train.
Yeah.
Like if I can make it work, I'm making it work.
Yeah.
And it's always just the right amount of work. So I think
100%.
we've tweaked so many things. We've been doing this for months now. And just to let you guys know too, Maddie has been telling me to write a program for years. Write a program. It's, a really good opportunity and everyone knows your thing. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Everyone always asks you to
Everyone
write a
always
program.
asks me and I'm like, I don't want to. It's a whole nother thing. And then I had all this like self-doubt. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was like this whole thing. And I was like, you do it. And I'm like, you love it. You love doing all this stuff. I'm like, you do it. And he's like, no, you do it. Makes more sense for you to do it. Anyway, and I like push back. And then all of a sudden we started writing this thing for ourselves, and Maddie was writing some workouts for some of his nutrition clients to help boost them along in their journey, help them with a little bit extra weight loss, keep them motivated. They were really loving it. Then all of a sudden a couple of fireys at the station were like, oh, we'll do what you're doing. And then it was like, it just really naturally, genuinely grew. And I said to him, like, you love doing this. You're really good at it. And I like being bossy and just telling you how I want it to be. And I don't want to actually execute. Like, I just want to tell you, I just want to control it. And then you do the work. And it turns out that that's the perfect blend in our personalities and in this whole thing.
Works out well.
He's an executor. He gets it done. I'm the creative force behind it, I guess, and kind of come up with the ideas. And so then, he started putting it together, and then we've just been tweaking it along the way.
Yep.
And it's been really enjoyable and kind of accidental. And I know from experience, the accidental stuff is the best stuff because it comes from the most genuine place. And like, that's how I became an athlete, right?
Yep.
I did not set out to become an athlete. I loved it. I showed up. It healed me in a lot of ways, of things that I didn't realize I needed to heal. And it gave me something really positive to focus on and gave me a sense of self for a really long time. And it was an accident. And I ended up being one of the best in the world. So
100%. And I really do think like we have nailed, I don't know of any other program out there that is dedicated to like parents or busy people who have a short time and may miss a day here or there that's as well-rounded as what we've done. And we've pre-thought out that, hey, you may miss a day here, but you can literally pick any of the days that you choose to miss and get what you want out of it. Like, we have 3 days of strength, which are full body. So if you only have enough time to do 2 that week, you can do that. If you prefer to do the Metcons.
Yep.
If there's a Metcon out of those, 3 that you don't want to do, if you don't want to do more endurance-y stuff and you want to focus on your strength, you can miss that one that day if you can only get in 5 or 4 days a week.
And we fully accepted and set it up to go like, we're okay with progress being a little bit steadier, because people in our phase of life need to accept that. Because unless you want to get up and you're like, yes, I'm going to do it every day, and you'll like want to have this discipline and all that kind of stuff. But like, for us, we just don't believe in that. Like, you have to have an element of discipline to show up, especially when you're starting, because it's hard. But we are very clear on like, we're only going to have little kids once. Like, they're growing up rapidly. Our daughter's about to turn 7 and we can't get that time back. And so, and we just want to relax. We want to enjoy life. Like, we've done hard things our whole entire life, and life itself is really hard.
Yeah.
Like, fuel is $3 a litre. Fuel is $3 a litre. Life is hard. People are struggling to keep a roof over their head and do all the things. And so, like, we're heaps good. We're heaps good. We want to add good. We want to have peace in our life.
100%.
We want to have less stress. We don't want to try and keep up with expectations or be trying to prove ourselves to anyone. We want to feel peace. We want to feel good and comfortable. And I just know for a fact there's a whole bunch of you out there who are in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
You're all in my DMs all the time.
Yep.
Who are just like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I just want to love being with my kids and being where I'm at in life and taking it a little bit steadier, but still never giving up on myself, because you know what? There's going to come a day when they're going to leave home and you're going to have yourself all back and it's going to be fucking devastating. It's going to be devastating.
100%.
So,
and in saying all that too, like, I'd say in the last 3 months, which we've been doing this, we've both probably had the most progression in our training, our body composition and our energy with doing those 40 to 50 minute workouts, because we like doing the training, and it's
we can be consistent.
It's consistent and it's really hard. Like, you're working hard. Like, don't get me wrong. This isn't like a fluff around piece where you do 3 things for the day and you're done. Like, it's a 40 minute to 50 minute, like, you're working the whole time.
Yep.
And it's, I think we've definitely nailed the sweet spot.
Even like, there's that wiggle room, right? Where there was a day last week where, when I started this parasite thing, I was like, I'm not feeling too well. I was feeling really snappy. I was feeling super inflamed. You could tell I had like bug die off in my body, and I was like pinchy and cranky, and I was like, there was a cardio piece, but I really felt like I needed to move. I just knew that was going to serve me to sweat and move, and I just felt toxic. But I was like, if I try and full send this, like, someone's going to die in this house, because not me. That's going to be me, like, inflicting harm on someone. But, like, the wheels are going to fall off. So I was able to just do it at, like, a RPE 5,
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to float. I'll be more responsible for the kids. You go full send. You're doing okay. I'll stop and start if I need to, and I'm just going to, like, get a glowy sweat on and just kind of cruise through, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And there's always that ability, and that's like the message that we want to promote. And so it'll just be like really, really chill. But yeah, it's going to be probably somewhere around the time this podcast comes out, it'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
Where hang on, I got a cough. Sorry. We're refining a few things at the moment with just like the programming platform, working with the legends at Train Heroic. They're really helping us out in that sense. making sure that it just is easy.
Yeah.
And then again, like our business, we'll add to it as we go. So it'll be priced accordingly so that
Yeah.
it's really
It's
easy
gonna
for
be
people to
20 it'd be 30 Aussie, so around
30
about
Aussie a month.
20 USD a month. So we don't want to, we understand that everything's expensive. We don't want to overcharge anyone. We want to make it like
easy to do, man. Like
Yeah,
you
100%.
can justify paying for it.
Yep.
It's manageable to do
Yep.
do the class.
and you can do it at a Globo gym,
And
or
when
you
you-
can do it at any or a CrossFit gym, any type of gym, or
And
you can
it's-
do it at home.
and it's not the thing that you
Yeah.
want to quit the most, you know,
No.
like because you're like, oh gosh, I can't justify that, you know, like you can actually, there's no excuse to not kind of do something for yourself. Like
Yeah.
we'll just make it easy to do something for yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be really cool. And super chill, and we'll refine it as we go. So like our thing is like we'll over deliver, make it awesome.
Yeah.
While we start off, we'll be adding videos to the library, you know, like demo videos as we go,
Yep.
and things like that. But it'll be pretty self-explanatory, and we'll share a bunch of stuff because we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like I've said this a
We're
million
literally
times.
doing it.
I've said this a million times before, and like Maddie used to have a real pet peeve with it when we owned our CrossFit gym. It was like if the coaches aren't doing our program, like it doesn't send a very good message. It doesn't make clients or like members of the gym feel comfortable doing the programming. Like they're not going to believe in it if you're not doing it. We're like,
Yeah.
we believe in this. We created this for ourselves. We didn't create this for anybody else. We just decided to share it and put a bit more effort into it because it was helping us and so many other people that we were just kind of accidentally sharing it with.
Yeah. Plus, so many people have been asking lately for you to do a program, so
Yeah. And
it's
I like,
worked really well.
we want to put a pretty cool flair in there because obviously I have a real passion for like Pilates and a lot of like deeper core strength things, and have that little kind of flair flow in there too, which is something that's kind of not really integrated into CrossFit as much. But like, and I wouldn't solely define this. Like I'm CrossFit girly forever and ever.
Yeah. It's still a CrossFit
it's still
style program,
CrossFit.
so.
It's just, I don't know. People just kind of want to put CrossFit in a box and say it has to be this certain way, but it's
Yeah,
really
it's
not.
so
It's
dumb.
like it's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, it'll be really cool, be really functional, make sense, still aesthetic, really smooth and easy. And it's going to complement really well. So like if anyone is kind of on that process of trying to marry up their training, their nutrition, and get it all kind of dialed in together, that's sort of like our overall goal.
And it is a low barrier to entry. Like you don't need to have skills or have a watchful eye on you or anything like that. We've set it out to be low barrier to entry, low skill, high work, hard work,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yep.
So yeah,
But also like as hard as you make it.
as hard as you make it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's set out to be like that. So
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of like what's been going on. I'm sure there's probably a lot more. We're
Yeah.
in the middle of it, but you know, if we I feel like we finally kind of like hit a point where we're being really consistent. I think we just like we were probably asking a little bit too much of ourselves last year, to be honest, and we
Yeah.
just needed to let
we
ourselves
burnt
be
out.
yeah, we just needed to let ourselves be ready to do a little bit more, and so we're in a really good place now. We're like, we're not going to do this until we're ready. So yep, we're back, we're ready, we're in your ears. We appreciate you listening. We hope we can bring some cool little golden nuggets, tell some stories, share some life experiences, and hopefully add some value to your days. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.